Hey everybody, I just want to take a minute to talk to you about a situation that happened to me a couple months ago, and that you'll never know when God's going to use you to tell your story to someone. Um, so back in October, I went down with a group of people to North Carolina and to deliver some goods and help out down there. So each vehicle was teamed with somebody that was armed because we were early on in the process of people getting in there to help out. And I was teamed with a guy. He was ex-military. He had been down there the week before, and so he was telling me a little bit about what happened the week before. And but we really didn't have too much of a conversation, other than what we're going to expect in North Carolina. So about 2 hours into our 5-hour trip, he had noticed the Bible verse on the dash of my Jeep, and he asked me about it, and I said, well, it's Romans 12:13, give to the Lord people that are in need, practice hospitality. I said, that's the Bible verse that we had selected for our Jeep ministry, and this is kind of what we're doing now. We're going down to help out the people in North Carolina that are in need, and from the Hurricane Helen. And he said, do you really believe that God has helped your life? And I said, absolutely. When I make God a priority in my life, everything goes sometimes not smoothly, but it goes according to God's plan. And when I don't and I try to do things on my own, it just seems to fail. So, God wants me to rely on Him. And when I do rely on Him, life is so much better for my family, for me, even work wise. So I asked him about, him. I said, are you a Christian? And he says, no, I am an atheist. He says, really not an atheist, but an agnostic. He doesn't really believe in God. Um, Everything that he's done in his life, he has done on his own. Um, and he began to tell me a little bit about his life story, and man, what an upbringing that he had, and that he was going through some legal issues right now that he was trying to fight, that was done by a family member that kind of used one of his IDs. And through the process of us talking and me kind of giving my testimony about God in my life, it kind of opened up eyes for him a little bit. And through that process, he asked me to pray for him through his legal battles. Over the next 2 to 3 months, we were continuing to talk back and forth over the phone, text messages, and all that. And he was giving me updates on his legal battles. And finally, he reached out and told me that the lawyer had contacted him, and that the detectives in another state were dropping the charges because they knew that, he had given them enough evidence that it definitely wasn't him. So he thanked me for my prayers, and it kind of opened up, I think, his eyes to the help of what God can do to you if you let God in, and you let people in that'll just show you the love of God. So never take this for granted and pass up an opportunity for God to use you in a way to bring people to Christ. It may be something very simple, just like what happened to me, but take advantage of that, because you never know how you would change someone's life. Have a blessed day, friends.